I dare you to work on yourself for 6 months. I dare you to shut out the world. I dare you to shut out all the distractions.
It is January 2nd, 2025, and I'm currently on my way to the gym. Over the past 24 hours, social media has been filled with everyone's highlights from the previous year, and it's inspiring in many ways. But I also remember feeling discouraged when I saw similar posts in the past.
And that didn't have anything to do with anyone else. I also vividly remember just not being able to relate to it. Setting goals for yourself in the beginning of the year, and then by the end of the year you look back on it and you feel like it's just been a really hard journey and everything was 10 times harder than you even thought would be possible. And then when you see everyone doing all these great things, you're like what did I do this year? To that, I want to say that there is one thing that changed everything for me. And that is the quote that you can have anything, but you can't have everything. And to me, that has been so transformational because to me, intensity is always easier than consistency, which means that it is so much easier for you to want to do everything, jump on the next thing, and the moment it gets hard you switch plans and you do something else. It's so much harder to stay consistent with one thing and then really ride it through so that you end up coming out of the other side, which means that oftentimes you keep going through the same patterns because you give up before you're actually able to grow through it, which will then allow you to come out on the other side. You need to have a very, very clear focus because you can achieve anything, but just not everything all at once. And I myself am very much an intensity over consistency type of person. And I know that, which is why I'm actively trying to avoid jumping on the next thing, but instead trying to force myself to limit my attention topics and be really, really good at the things that I do and be very, very focused on them, because all the things that I do, they deserve all my attention, and that will allow me to put in so much more energy and effort and mental headspace, which will then allow me to come out on the other side of any of the struggles that I'm facing. Which leads me to the next thing, which is that if there is something that you really want to achieve and that you really want to do, then you have to accept that there will be this lonely chapter. The lonely chapter is really hard because it basically means that there is this discrepancy between what you are and what you want to be, and therefore your current environment and the people around you, they don't align anymore with what you want to do. You have to change your habits and do different things, but you're also not on that next level yet where you meet different people that you can align with and where you find your crew, right? So you are in an in-between state, which means that you let people down that you used to hang out with, or maybe expectations of people, but you didn't find the new people yet. So it's like you're the only one in your corner rooting for you. Accept that you need to be head down for an X amount of months. Let it be this year, because then by the end of this year, you don't even have to post your highlights, but just know for yourself what you've been through and what you've grown through. This is the beauty of social to me, because what you can do is you can find the people that you look up to and then make sure that they are part of the people that you spend most time with. It doesn't even have to be in real life, it can also be online. If you consume content of someone that you really felt inspired by, then that will allow you to adapt that mindset, grow into that mindset. And even if you don't meet them in real life, even if you don't have them in your actual circle, having them online is already such a beautiful way of surrounding yourself with the right crew. Long story short, you can have anything, you just can't have everything. And if you stay focused, if you accept being lonely, if you accept just having your head down and saying no to any distractions, you will come out so much stronger. You won't even be able to recognize your old life. in a good way. 5 p.m. January 2nd, as I said, and I'm now going to the gym, which is a lot later than I wanted to train, but I've been working on a new program that I'll be starting on January 6th. It will be our program for the new year. So if you want to go ahead and join me, do the same program, then you can now click the link in the description box. It's a link to my app. I'll have 60% off a yearly subscription, so it will only be for limited time. So if you want to train with me and do the exact same program or do a home version, because I'll also roll out a home version, then you can click that link. It'll be my last, I guess, normal gym program, because I'll be bulking for 8 more weeks. The program isn't a bulking program in itself, because that has more to do with your intake than with the actual training style, but I will be starting a fat loss phase in March. So after this program finishes, I'll transition into a fat loss program, which I'll create a new program for it, and that one will actually be targeted towards fat loss, because I'll do a lot more cardio and like walking, incline walking, whatever. It'll be really exciting too. So this will be my last 8 weeks of being able to really push myself and try to make as many gains as I can before we are actually starting our shred. So today I'm doing a back session, which, if you know, that is one of my favorite things to train. So I'll see you in the gym. I picked up some new shoes. Finally have some all white Metcons. To be fair, these aren't fully all white. I don't know if you can actually see it, but this is like an off-white color. I don't know why it is so hard for them to just make fully white ones. I actually saw these where I think this part was black. I liked it more, but I didn't have them in my size. So I picked up these. Love these shoes for training. Now I'm actually going to do an ab workout first, which I'm not going to film here because I'm filming it for my follow along channel. So I'm training my core before my actual workout, and I'm just recording them all for my follow along channel because people really like to do the ab workouts, and I definitely lost some core strength when I couldn't train for 6 weeks. So I want to build it up, and I finally want to be able to do dragon flag, and the only way that you're able to build a skill is through repeated exposure. So now before my training starts, I am doing an ab workout. 10 minutes, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and then I'll gradually build myself up to do 50 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and then 1 minute on, 0 seconds off. But we're not there yet. Going to build the setup now. Maybe I can show it to you. So here is the setup. I don't know why all of this is here. Actually, I do know why, because I used the mat when I was recording in a studio which was very, very sandy. So now I have all of these marks here because the bottom of this mat is actually really dusty, but I can't be bothered to clean it because it's, I mean, as you can tell, it's already pretty late. So I work with artificial lighting anyways. I want to be done as soon as I can, but it doesn't really look that bad on my actual camera. As you can see here, I just have to make sure that I don't actually see the light in that corner. So I'll play around with the setup, and then I'm going to train abs for 10 minutes, and then we're actually moving on to back and biceps. The first exercise that I'm doing is an incline cable pull. I've been really enjoying this variation. I'm doing this as a first vertical pull that I'm doing. I'll also be doing assisted pull-ups, but I've actually noticed that if I start with a vertical pull that isn't an actual pull-up, then it somehow allows my central nervous system to really prep for the pull movement. So I'm able to do more reps with the assisted pull-up, But usually you would want to start with the exercise that you want to focus on, because then you have most of your energy that you can dedicate towards it. But somehow me and pull-ups, we have this weird relationship going on where it's just sometimes easier for me to actually not start with it and do it as a second exercise. So that's what I'll be doing today. I am going to attempt to do a body weight pull. Let's see. I've never tried it before, but I feel pretty confident that I'll be able to pull this off. Alrighty, we've reached exercise number 2, which is the assisted pull-up. If I'm not able to do at least 2 reps with this 5 kg resistance band, then everything I said before was a lie, and I should start with the assisted pull-ups next time. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do, because I was able to do 2 last time. In case you don't know, I had a 6-week break, and pull-ups and push-ups are my number 1 exercise, number 1 and number 2 exercises that I lost most of my strength on. So I'm on a mission to build this back, especially now that I decided to continue bulking for 8 more weeks. And the best way to build your skill, actually the only way to build your skill, is through repeated exposure. So we're going to make sure that we do them frequently. I need this. Het ging maar net goed. But I did it. We are transitioning to our first row of the day, which is a cable row. This is actually a dual pulley, which is really nice. So I have both hands working individually, which is really good because that allows me to basically base the work on my weaker side instead of, you know, when you have, for example, the V grip, my stronger side tends to take over. Next up, I'm doing an inverted row, which is one of my favorite rows. Instead of pulling the bar, as you would do with a bent over barbell row, you're pulling yourself to the bar. I love, love, love doing body weight exercises. And I also feel that for some reason, it really helps me with building my strength. So first, cable pull. We made it. We made it to the final exercise, the final back exercise for today, the inverted row. The higher that the bar is, the more of an incline that you make, the easier it is. So if you start with this exercise, put the bar up higher. You can also use a barbell in the squat machine. And then make sure that you pull your chest towards the bar. Keep a straight line with your body. Then, if you get stronger, you can gradually lower until you reach the lowest level, which is basically when you lay down and you can just grab the bar. reach arms, I have no more energy, which is why my biceps are lacking. I know. I might fix it in the future. Maybe not. Thank you for watching this video. I'll hopefully see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow. Actually, I will see you tomorrow because I will stay consistent. Why? Because nothing changes if nothing changes. So this is usually how my life goes. It is Sunday, the 5th of January. It is 11 p.m. I've spent the entire weekend adding all the content into the CMS, and we're not passing validation. So now we need to figure out what the actual error is that the server is producing, which means that I will not be going to sleep before this is fixed, obviously, because the challenge needs to be live tomorrow with the program, which means that will probably take another minute or 120 of them. But the last clip that you saw of me was, I believe it was something like me saying that I would be consistent with filming from now on, and that I would like do the YouTube videos. And then here we are, what was it, 3 days later? Didn't go to the gym once. I didn't film, obviously, because I've just been sitting here in this exact spot behind my laptop trying to figure out how to make this program work. We'll figure it out. We always do. But in the meantime, we just try to problem solve. It is 12:15, January 6th. It's debugged. So that means that we should be able to actually push the program, put it live, and then hopefully in an hour or so, everything is good, everything is live, everything is ready, and we can officially start Focus. Fingers crossed.